Today, Baba is telling us that people in the world call Baba the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness. And we are Baba's children. Baba is directly sustaining us. Baba as a father is sustaining us. As a teacher is teaching us every day. And Baba is also the Satguru who is giving us many blessings every day. And Baba says that if this is how we are learning from Baba, Baba is our parent, then one obvious sign of Baba's children should be that they never have a feeling of sorrow. So, do you understand that sorrow is a feeling, and every feeling is a creation of thought, and every thought is because of our sanskars. So we have created the sanskar of feeling sorrowful in the last 63 births. And then we keep creating this feeling of sorrow. But Baba says that we children, we are knowledgeful. We are the children of the ocean of knowledge and the ocean of happiness. So, even according to knowledge, if we have imbibed knowledge, we can never have the feeling of sorrow. Because you see, let's understand the psychology behind sorrow. So, sorrow, the seed of sorrow is a sense of loss. So, whenever we feel a sense of loss, we feel sorrow. But if we understand and imbibe the truth, the knowledge accurately, then we understand that in this drama, there is no loss and gain. There is only change. You lose something, you get something. And you can't have it all at the same time. Something leaves, something comes. This is how the drama is designed. You have to lose your childhood to gain adulthood, isn't it? You can't have both. Or in fact, in this case, you can have both because you can carry the innocence of childhood into adulthood. But when it comes to material things or relationships, it's just change. Something leaves, something comes into your life. And according to the knowledge of the drama, we understand that 1 second cannot be the same as the next second. And since childhood, we have heard change is the only constant. So, Baba says, if we are knowledgeful, we can never create this sense of loss when there is a change, because change is the law of the drama and it has to change second by second. But you see, it is attachment which makes us feel a sense of loss. So if I'm attached to something, So, while listening to knowledge, it makes total sense that yes, everything is prone to change, it has to change. So, there is no scope for sorrow, and it is completely logical. But then, when we practically try to apply this, it becomes difficult. Why? Because we are attached. We have this sanskar of attachment. Whenever you get something, you say, this is me, this is mine. Yes, I became an engineer, I became a doctor, I became a mother, I became a father. So, you start defining yourself with what you have. And then you start attaching your identity, your heart with whatever you get. And then when that changes, then that it is a simple change, but then it becomes a question of loss of identity. Because when I have a child, I'm a mother. When I lose a child, who am I? Or when I get a degree, I am qualified, and then when I lose the degree, what happens? So this is how it goes. So Baba says that when we become Baba's children, we start practicing soul consciousness. We start separating our sense of identity with what I have and what I do. So earlier, I am what I have and what I do. But then, when I become soul conscious, I separate myself from what I have and what I do. I am not what I have, I am not what I do. I am a soul, and mine is one Baba. So, when you sit in soul consciousness and you start building your sense of self-worth in its true sense, that you're actually a soul and you have all relationships with Baba, your only your only relationship or your only attainment is Baba. When you start working on this, then slowly, gradually, you come to a place where you live in this world like a lotus. So, a lotus is the symbol of no attachment. So, you live in this world, but you're not attached. Your heart, your identity is not attached to anything around you. And then, there will be change. Obviously, something will come, something will go, but then you will not have a feeling of loss. You will not feel the feeling of loss or feeling of sorrow. And this is the sign of Baba's children. Baba is called the ocean of happiness. And there is a reason why Baba is called the ocean of happiness, because Baba gives us the understanding and the power with which when we apply accurately, we can stay ever happy and stay away from the feeling of sorrow. So if we are Baba's children and still we experience the feeling of sorrow, that means I have not taken Baba's gifts of understanding and power very well. And then Baba says that, when you, whenever there is a change, then a change upsets a lot of systems, So whenever there is a change, then there are two consequences of it in the world. One is inner suffering, and second is inconvenience, because whatever was there is now not there, and it is it is disturbing you in a very physical way. So, when there is change, you have to deal with that change. And that dealing with change also requires a lot of power. But when change brings suffering inside the soul, then it is said that the soul has not imbibed enough knowledge and power through yoga, and that's why you're suffering inside. And when you're suffering inside, then you can't take power from Baba. You can't have yoga with Baba. Do you understand this? That when the heart is full of sorrow, you cannot have yoga with Baba. You can only connect with the ocean of happiness when you have a happy heart. Yes, if my heart is wounded, if my heart is full of sorrow, then I cannot have yoga. I can pray to Baba. I can call out to Baba. I can cry in front of Baba, but I cannot have yoga. There's a difference between prayer and yoga. So when you are in low consciousness, then you pray. You are asking Baba for help. But yoga is not asking Baba for help. Yoga is taking help from Baba. So Baba says, I'm here to help you. But I cannot help you if you don't help yourself. So you have to have a happy heart and have the power to take that help from me through yoga. So when I have a happy heart and I have the power to concentrate my mind and intellect on the source, on the powerhouse, then I can draw power from Baba. And Baba says that, so when we have done enough inner work so that we are not disturbed, we don't suffer in the face of external change. There is no internal suffering, there is no internal sorrow. There is just inconvenience. And when there is inconvenience, then also a lot of work has to be put in. And that karmic account has to be settled. And how do you settle it? By taking power from Baba. So I remember there was this one brother, and he has been a yogi for quite some time. And then somebody caused a lot of damage to his factory. So you know how people are very jealous these days, and they can harm you physically, they can harm your reputation. There are so many things that happen in Kali Yuga. And then this brother, because somebody had caused damage to the factory, so then that morning he came to the center and he told me that, Didi, this thing has happened. And then he sat in Baba's room and he took a lot of power from Baba. And then he said, you see, because when there is physical loss, then a lot of things have to be managed. So then he did all that work. And then later on, he claimed all the insurance about the factory. And the thing is, you see, when the factory suffered that loss, he did not know there was an insurance because his manager had done that insurance and he was not aware of it. But later, when he was in a very good state, later he got all his money back also. because he knew that later he came to find out that years back, there was a insurance that the manager had done. So at that time, he just moved with faith, moved with courage. And Baba says that, when there is no internal suffering, then you can take power from me and settle your karmic accounts. How do karmic accounts get created and how do karmic accounts get settled? So it's a very simple process. If you are just, if you are not getting emotional, if you're not getting upset, and you are doing the needful in any situation, any difficult situation, unfavorable situation, that is called settling of karmic account. And when there is an unfavorable situation, and then you get very agitated, very disturbed, very upset, and then you are damaging yourself and the situation more, even if you are able to control some of the external aspects, but internally you're very disturbed, very agitated, upset or hurt or angry, then you are creating more karmic account. So Baba says we have 63 births of karmic accounts, and all of those will come. This Sangam Yuga is called the age of karmic settlement. Do you know this? Yes, this is the age of karmic settlement, because all the backlog of unsettled, unfinished karmic accounts, they are all going to emerge at this time. And you see, in every religion, we talk about this time when all the karmic accounts come up to be settled. In Islam, they say Qayamat ka samay. Yes, so, and in that they say, in that Qayamat ka samay, all the dead bodies will emerge. So it's not the dead bodies that emerge, but it is all the dead karmic accounts that you thought are dead, but they are very living. They come up and then you have to settle them. In Christianity also, they say the day of reckoning. So these are all names given to this time. Or, in Hinduism, you talk about Dharmraj Puri, or, when you have to, and in Hinduism, we talk a lot about, paying off your karmic debt. So that time is now. So all the karmic settlements will come. And you know how karmic settlements come? They come suddenly, so that they can throw you, off your feet. And they come suddenly, and suddenly there are so many unfavorable circumstances these days. Just look at COVID. When COVID happened, then so many people lost so many family members at one time. And until now also, it's been many years, but until now also you meet people who will say, I lost my parents in COVID, or I lost this family member in COVID, or I lost 5 people in the family in COVID. So just think about how karmic settlements come up. And then that was a phase, and that was a phase of rapid karmic settlement. And then here, day to day also, you see so many wars happening, floods happening, and all of that, what happened in Dharali some days back. So all of these things, these are karmic settlements. And when these things come up, it causes a lot of inconvenience physically and a lot of suffering inside. And Baba says, Baba's children cannot suffer inside, because Baba has taught us how to, stay stable inside while everything outside is happening. Baba has taught us how to sit on the seat of soul consciousness. And when you're soul conscious, you're on this lotus seat, when you are amidst everything, but then you are detached. And then Baba says that when you are like that, then also a lot of work needs to be done. You take power from Baba. When you're on the seat of soul consciousness, you can take power from Baba. And when you take power from Baba, then you can settle your karmic accounts. You can do what needs to be done in that case. Yes, I remember there was one brother, and he shared a very interesting experience. He said that, Didi, my wife, she all of a sudden, she said, I don't want to live with you. And then he said that, yes, I agree, I had neglected her a lot, but then I loved her. And when she said that I don't want to live with you, I was completely swept off my feet and I didn't know what to do. And then I got so disturbed, so upset. I took a lot of alcohol, and then for days together, I behaved like an alcoholic. And then when finally the case was in the court, then that day also I was drunk and I shouted and screamed in the court. And then the case went very bad. And then because of that, right now, 90% of my salary goes to alimony, towards alimony to her and my child. And he says, I'm living the life of, he said, I'm earning almost 2 lakhs a month, but then only 20,000 is left for me. And then the rest goes to her. And he told me that I learned one lesson. You cannot control what happens, but then at least, by remaining sensible, you can stop from making it worse. But then because I was not in my senses, I made it very bad. And this is how karmic settlements are. So when something happens suddenly and then you are not able to handle your emotions, then instead of making it better, you make it very worse. And when you worsen it, then also you have to deal with it, don't you? And he's dealing with it. It's been 5 years. He's dealing with it. Every day every month he's earning, every day he's logging, and then he's paying everything and living like a pauper. So you see how these karmic settlements are. And then Baba tells us that when these come up, you have to settle. Otherwise, what happens is in the end also you will have to settle. And right from the copper age, we start performing sinful karma. And then in the drama, there is a method of settling karmic accounts. So, you get punished in the womb. So when the soul leaves one body and enters the womb in another body, then at that time the soul is reminded of all the karma that he or she did in the last birth. And at that time there is a lot of suffering, because at that time the soul is soul conscious, detached from the last body, not attached to this one. So it's a pretty detached state. And in that detached state, you suffer because of what you did, because you understand what you did was wrong. And then Baba says that at the end also, there'll be a lot of punishment if we don't settle our karmic accounts now. So this is why Baba says Baba's children should not get punishment and go like everybody else. So let me, draw enough knowledge power, enough power of love, and enough power of goodness from Baba through yoga, so that I remain stable and soul conscious in times of karmic settlements, and I don't get upset. I am in a stable seat, and by doing that I finish my inner suffering. And then second is I draw power and do what needs to be done without getting tired, without getting upset. So this is about karmic settlement. And then Baba today tells us that although people in the world, they think that God knows everything and he should tell everything in one go, but Baba says, I'm just like you. So do you know what you will do tomorrow or speak tomorrow? Did you know you will attend the class today? So if I had asked you 10 years back or 15 years back, did you know you will become a BK and attend classes like this? No. So this is how, we souls have a pre-recorded part inside us. And then when the time arrives, we start doing that which never made sense to us earlier. And we never thought I would speak like this or act like this. But then we start doing it when the time arises. And this is why, the relationship between the pre-recorded part in a soul and time is compared to the relationship between a gramophone and the needle. So have you seen that in olden days there used to be gramophones? Even if we have not seen it, we have seen it in movies and stuff. So there is a record that's playing and then there's a needle, and wherever the needle strikes, that piece of music plays. And Baba says, you also have a pre-recorded part inside you. And time is like a needle. And where the needle strikes, that part emerges. And we also start doing, saying, or thinking that in that moment. It is already pre-recorded, but we don't have the idea of what we will do tomorrow. And Baba says, similarly, I come and give you knowledge. But the knowledge that I will give you tomorrow comes to me tomorrow only. I will not give you that knowledge today. So every day Baba comes, speaks, and whatever is the knowledge that Baba has to speak today emerges in his intellect, and Baba speaks. And Baba says, this is why, I cannot tell you. So usually children, they ask these questions to Baba. Baba, when will the destruction happen? Or when will that time come? Or when is this going to happen or that going to happen? When will Satyug come? And Baba says, if it were in my part to tell these secrets today, I would tell you. But it is not in my part today to tell you these things. And because it's not in my part, it doesn't come to me. I cannot tell you those things. It's not that I don't want to. If I could, I would, Baba says. Because Baba loves his children. And Baba wouldn't hold anything back if he could. But Baba says the drama is so interesting that I only can speak to you when the time comes. So Baba tells us that, and then one interesting thing is, even if you knew what's going to happen tomorrow, can you stop it from happening? No. So, people are very interested in what will happen tomorrow. But the thing is, what will happen tomorrow will anyways happen. Whether you know it, whether you don't know it, what's the big deal? Because if you know it also, it's going to happen. And people think that if I know something in advance, I can stop it. But it's not like that. Even if you know it, it's going to happen. Yes, let's say I know when I'll leave the body. So what? I'll still leave the body at that time, no? So what's the point of knowing it? Then what is the whole point? So actually, knowing what will happen is immaterial. What is important and what is actually beneficial is preparing for it. So, in English, there is a very beautiful saying, forewarned is forearmed. So, Baba says that, I've given you the knowledge that destruction is going to happen, that you're going to leave the body, that Satyuga is to come. So, the whole point is you prepare yourself for it, you arm yourself up for it. And how do you prepare? So Baba says, one thing you prepare yourself in is sitting on the seat of the detached observer and in remembrance of Baba. So Baba says, whenever something is going to happen, what you have to do is sit on the seat of a detached observer. What is a detached observer? A detached observer is somebody who is sitting on a seat of soul consciousness and watching every scene but not absorbing its vibration. So you are a soul, you are happy, you are peaceful, you are joyful, you are contented, and then on that seat of joy, peace, contentment, knowledge, you're sitting and watching every scene. The scene may be that of fear, the scene may be one of violence, the scene may be that of attraction, but you are not feeling the feelings that the scene wants you to feel. You are just sitting in your state of soul consciousness and observing, but not absorbing. So when you observe, you don't absorb. And when you absorb, then you are not a detached observer. So Baba says, practice being a detached observer. Now, how do you practice that? So very easy. When you sit in Amrit Vela, sit with open eyes. Whenever we sit in meditation, what is the practice that we teach in Baba's knowledge? Sit with open eyes. And when you sit with open eyes, you're seeing everything. But while your eyes are open and every scene is in front of you, you're just sitting in soul consciousness and remembering Baba and not reacting to that scene. If there is an emotional reaction, just change it. Just tell yourself, this is my time to remember Baba. Yes, I will tell you one thing. When I started meditating, there was this. So I used to when I used to conduct yoga in the center. So many years back, it was a different place we were in, and there, the door did not have a door closer. So it was right in front of me, and whenever somebody would come, they would leave the door open, and then there would be a lot of noise coming from there. And then when they left the door open, I had this thought always, every time somebody entered the room for yoga, then I would have this thought, can't this person hear that noise? Why is this person not closing the door? They should close the door. They should know better. And then, I thought, one day I had these thoughts and then I couldn't meditate. And then second day I thought, let me just practice staying in soul consciousness and in Baba's remembrance in joy and happiness despite whatever everybody is doing. Because this is my time to practice being a detached observer. And then I tried doing that. And that one practice, we stayed in that flat with Baba's Seva for 5 years. And in 5 years' time, I became an absolute detached observer. And then towards the end, there was one brother, and he was coming to the center, and then he offered, Didi, I'll get all these doors, with the door closer, and I'll also get ACs installed. So then the scene also changed. So you see, why I'm sharing this incident is just, when you practice being in Baba's remembrance with open eyes and allow everything to happen while you are in soul consciousness and Baba's remembrance, it helps you become a detached observer. And this is why we have this practice of meditating with open eyes. This is the only reason. And Baba says that when you become a detached observer and you know how to stay in remembrance of Baba despite whatever is in front of you, then you have prepared yourself for that moment for which you were asking questions. When will this happen, that happen? So whatever happens, Baba says you can be in my remembrance and be safe. Okay, Om Shanti.